Okay, I think we're live. Good morning. Elle Ingalls here at pressure-free.com. Good, happy Friday to you. If you're watching live, if you're on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. Um, how we look, that is the topic today. Stressing over how we look. Uh, Gosh, when was it? 2015? I think it was 2015. I was making my first online course, and I was working with a coach, Maria Andros. Um, and creating videos for my course. So I really didn't want to put myself on camera. I didn't want to record myself. I would never want to do a Facebook Live or any sort of video. I just wasn't interested in any of that. Even as a performer, I preferred live performance to ever being recorded as a violinist and as a conductor in symphonies. I just loved the live thing, not recorded. So maybe I just didn't like how I looked or whatever those, a lot of people, we don't like how we sound or how we look. Like you record yourself and you're like, oh, I hate my voice kind of thing. I don't know. I guess I had some of that. So anyway, I started making my recordings and my hair was short, like about to here. And it was just, I don't know, it's just like a bad cut. It just didn't look good. Um, So I told my coach, I just don't really like how it's coming out. And she goes, why don't you go out and get some extensions, like hair extensions? And I just started laughing. I was 50 at the time. I was just laughing, like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a 50 some odd year old woman. And she goes, oh no, you're gonna go do that. So I went to the store and got these, like matched my hair color and got these extensions. And they were just these clip-on things. And like, so I take it, like I clip it in, and they were really long. Okay. So I clipped them into my hair and I went across the street to my neighbors who had just seen me the day before. Okay. With this super long hair. So from here to like way down here. And I walked in, she goes, oh, your hair's so cute. And I was just like flummoxed. She's not noticing that in just 24 hours, my hair went from being short, chin length, to super long. And here's my takeaway from that. We don't really notice what people look like. We get this kind of general look. It's because most of us are in our heads and we've already triggered fight or flight first thing in the morning. So we don't actually take in the information very clearly. Because otherwise, how could she like not see that huge difference? So what are we seeing when we see another person? It's far more than our hair color or length or whether we have makeup on or not. Like almost every time I'm on these calls, I don't have any makeup on because I just don't really like wearing it. So, so I'll do it for a photo shoot, or a big presentation. But I tend to be very, very natural. I even don't really like dyeing my hair, so kind of like dye pieces of it because this is very, very white and I'm a dark brunette. Like there's still pieces of that. My hair is every single color, which is why I did the background for July. Of the back of my head. Like you can see all these different colors. My hair is like every color, kind of color. So, so I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves about how we look. It could be how you were raised. Um, with my mother, when I was small, first of all, my whole growing up in the city of Concord, New Hampshire, my mother never went out of the house unless she was in a skirt or dress. She did not wear slacks unless it was some sort of event where she had to like get on her hands or knees or like do something like that. But she would always change her clothes to go downtown. That was a thing. And with us, when we were small, she made a lot of our clothes, like matching dresses, all of us, however, were born at the time. And we would dress up to go downtown, to do the shop, to say hello to my father at the bank, like all these little things we did. We were in the library. We went to the library every week and got our books. And so there was this way of being. So I think it was until junior high, um, I always wore a dress or skirt to school. I didn't wear pants. On gym day, I got to wear pants under my skirt. I couldn't have a pair of jeans. So my mother grew up on a farm, and when they went into the city or went down to Boston or whatever, they always dressed up. So when you left the farm, you had your farm clothes and then you had your going out clothes. So that was kind of how we were raised too. So it was very it was kind of interesting, her way of being and what she shared with me, and to look presentable, right? And so yeah, so how did you grow up? Like what were there rules around how you looked and how you comported yourself? Some are great, like really great. Others, maybe those don't really fit your style, or it's just not the way that you want to be. I think my mother would be kind of be appalled at what I wear to the grocery store sometimes. Like I'm in my workout clothes, you know. Those are for working out. But that was just her way, her rules, if you will. So going back to stressing over how we look or like what we're putting on, here's what to notice. So let's say you're going out to a social event tonight. It's Friday night, um, and you find yourself starting to stress a little about what to wear. So you're like going through your closet, maybe pulling a few things. Or if you're like my father, he would put on something and my sisters would go, "You can't wear that. What? You can't wear that. We're going to this restaurant," or whatever. Someone's like smacking back at you for what you've put on. Or it doesn't match, or my father didn't really care about any of that. So, it's interesting that you might be getting pushback, or you yourself are like fretting about it. So that's what to notice. Are you fretting? Because if you're fretting about what you're trying to put on, or like something's not working quite right, that's probably causing you to trigger the stress response. So now you're in a state of being that when you go to this event, you're not going to remember a whole lot of it later. Like your memory's going, your memory is corrupted during fight or flight. So is your decision making, your willpower, like all this is shut down. You might drink too much because your willpower's down. You might say things that later, like, "Oh, I can't believe I said that to her." Or you go out to some family event and you say something to your uncle and you're like, "Oh my God." If we're triggered by the stress hormones, that's the kind of behavior that you might exhibit. And you're like, okay, so how do we back that all up and not do that? Notice when you first start thinking about going to the event or preparing to go to the event, like notice that, and notice if your belly's tight or your shoulders are up or your hands are tight. Like notice if you've got some tension. That's a clue. That's a clue that this event, this social situation is kind of working on you. It could be simply going to church this weekend. It could be something you do all the time, like go to a certain restaurant every weekend. And yet you've got a pattern of triggering the stress response before you even leave your house. So notice that first, and noticing sets you free. Acknowledgement sets you free. So it's like, oh yeah, I just get a little elevated when I'm trying to get ready. Or maybe you feel in a rush because you're like behind the time you're supposed to be there. You're feeling like you're running late. That'll be another clue. So look for these little clues. And the moment you feel the tension, the moment you notice, go right to your belly and just relax your abs. That's the first thing you want to do. We want to settle your nervous system because your nervous system is getting elevated. And that's what's going to release these hormones that are then going to affect you for hours, right? So relax your belly. Another quick little trick is just to take your hands and go down your legs, down your thighs. Don't go back up. I learned this from my body coach, Leela Veronica. We have a direction to our nervous system, goes down the top of the arms, down the tops of the legs. So even your arms, you can just go like this, get soft here. And that settles your nervous system. You may yawn. Take a yawn in. I did a little thing on yawning the other day. People really liked that on LinkedIn. So you're going to do one of these little things, especially the abs, to tell your brain that you are safe and you are fine. And there's no reason at all to trigger fight or flight. The only reason to trigger those stress hormone releases is if you're really under attack. but we can feel like these things are an attack on us. So once you get to the event, there can be all kinds of triggers. It can be a minefield, depending on who you're with, what the conversations are. If the conversation gets political, that might be some hot buttons. So yeah, I talked about this once on a show, like what are your hot buttons? Know your hot buttons. Know if you're going to a social event, what are some of the things that could possibly trigger your stress response? In other words, we're preempting, we're arming ourselves, but we're not arming ourselves with tension. We're arming ourselves with relaxation and expansion. Another thing you'll notice is when you're in at the event, are you rehearsing what you're going to say next to the person as they're talking to you, or are you really listening to them? So much of the time in our just conversations with people, we're not even really hearing people because our hearing shuts down in fight or flight. So back up. If you didn't trigger the stress response, if you didn't, before you got to the event, you're going to really hear people better. Not only that, you're going to lodge more memories. My youngest son was 10 when I created this method, and he shared with me that before the age of 10, before he learned all of this, he has very few real memories compared to now. Like now his memories, and he's my adventure boy, like all my boys are. He's like all over the place all the time. If you follow him on Strava, it's like ridiculous. Oh, he's running in Argentina. Oh, now he's running in Montana. If he goes on a shoot for Ingles Pictures, he's going on an adventure, right? He's with friends going on an adventure. He's doing a marathon somewhere, doing an ultra somewhere, like he just did. So with all of those events, like he has so much better memory of everything because this is working for him. So you get to enjoy life at a whole new level once you break the stress cycle. Now it can take some time, which is why I built my courses. You're getting little snippets here if you follow me, like you're getting little snippets. But if I'm sharing all this for free, imagine what the paid stuff is like. Like seriously. I mean, I just got a text from a client the other day. It's like, I can't believe how great my life is now. Like, it's like a totally different level. So, if any of this is making sense to you, if it's pinging and you're like, I need to go deeper, let's just have a conversation. You won't feel any selling from me because the conversation, of course, is going to be pressure free. It's going to be focused on you and what you need. You'll always walk away with something. And if you decide to work with me, we'll make that happen for you. You're ready. If you're ready, you're ready. Sometimes I have people who've watched me for a while and they'll call me. We'll get on the call. And it's like they know everything going on with me, but I don't know. I'm just meeting them. But because they've been watching me for a while, like, and they're saying, I've been watching you for 2 years and now I'm ready. So being ready, what is that? Being ready is simply acknowledge to me, it's acknowledging that all of this isn't quite working as optimally as it might. If you can say that about yourself, like if you can look at aspects of your life, be that performance oriented, health oriented, relationship oriented, and you can say, I think that this could work better. Probably there's a stress response issue going down. And if we can dig in and figure that out, that's what's going to set you free. That's going to allow for the expansion and for you to just open up to what a lot of my clients say is their true self. The stressed out self is not your true self. It's not. So if you're living day after day after day with a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of challenges in your life, we all have that. Those things are not necessarily going to go away, but how we process it can radically change. And how you protect yourself from the release of these hormones, that can radically change your life. So I wish you a beautiful, pressure-free day. And whatever the weather is, may rain here today, but rain makes everything pretty and shiny. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a great weekend as well. I'll see you tomorrow.